Hello, today Giant TCR Advanced SL1 disc. This bike comes with a frame which weighs 765 grams in size L. Total weight of this bike straight from the factory is 7.1 grams, which gives you opportunity to go down below UCI limit if you replace some components like saddle or rear cassette or even wheels. So that's a good thing, because today you have to put a lot of money if you would like to go down below UCI limit with disc brake bikes. I'm talking about new bikes. So in case of other brands like Trek or Specialized, it might cost you much more than in case of this bike. Okay, so this bike has integrated seatpost, which I will talk in detail in a minute. But first let's talk about the stiffness to weight ratio, which is kind of parameter that gives you some feeling about how dynamic this bike would be on the road. So when you manufacture the carbon frame, it's easy to shave some grams, but it's not easy to eliminate weight, but at the same time maintain the stiffness. Yeah, so that's the problem. It's challenging for manufacturers, so it requires some different approach for manufacturing. You have to be very, very careful. So I think Giant managed to achieve their goal, and I can tell you that after riding 300 miles or over 500 kilometers on this bike, I can tell you it's very stiff, very dynamic, very responsive, but not too stiff. It's a perfect match for me. I was never riding more responsive bike than this. As you can see, this bike has quite sport geometry. It's not too aggressive, but it's not radical. But it's dedicated for racing. It's pure race machine. Speaking about integrated seatpost, this is the disadvantage of this bike, of course. It gives you, it might cause you some problems when traveling with this bike. You cannot fit this bike everywhere. Also, you might have problems when selling the bike. If you cut your seatpost too low, you might have problems with finding more customers. Yeah, but luckily, Giant gives you some options to fix problems. They gives you some spacers and also longer seatpost clamp with longer sleeve, where you can accommodate more spacers inside to fix your low seatpost. Yeah, so if you cut it too low, you might fix it to some extent. Of course, it's not perfect solution. It's kind of compromise, but yeah, it might work. Okay, drivetrain. Here we have full Sram Force eTap AXS group set. In front we have 35 to 48 chain rings, and at the rear we have 12 gears. It's force cassette. The resolution is from 10 to 28, so it's kind of standard in case of Sram. You don't need to have bigger cock here, because the chainring, 48 chainring with 10 chainring at the rear, it's good enough to ride close to 60 kilometers per hour from my experience. So I think for most amateurs it's good enough. Speaking about the front and rear deal area, you can see they are using the same type of battery here and here, so you can swap them in case of if you are running out of energy at some point. You might easily fix this problem on the road. So that's a good thing. You have two redundant source of energy. Okay, let's try to hear how it spins. Yeah. The one thing is that you have to get used to switching gears. First of all, those levers are a bit further from the handlebars, like in case of Shimano levers. So people with smaller hands might have problems working with those levers. But for me, it's okay. I have quite big hands. Switching gears is different. So you have to use both levers to control your front derailleur, and to control your little derailleur, you are using left or right accordingly. Okay, if we are looking at handlebar here, we have carbon stem. This is overdrive stem. This is not standard, so you are limited in some ways if you would like to replace this stem. I think Zip, Pro and Giant are producing stems with overdrive diameter, which is 1.25 inch. So that's a kind of issue that you have to consider when you are buying this bike. But the good thing is that Giant provide you with some nice cycling computer holder here. This is the mounting for Garmin, but you have also adapter for Wahoo. Wheels. Here we have SLR1 model. So this is kind of standard. This is 40 millimeter deep section wheel. It's compromised, so it's good for mountains, good for flat. Kind of all-arounders. They are made from carbon. They have aerodynamic spokes. I don't know who is manufacturing the hub. It's not DT, I think. I don't know. Maybe they are doing their own, like in case of Cadex brand, which is kind of child brand of Giant. The internal diameter of those rims is 90 millimeters. You can accommodate to tire, max volume tire is 32 millimeter as far as I can tell. So in comparison to the former TCR Advanced, they gives you more clearance here, so you can go up with some wider tires if you like. But to be honest, 28 Cadex are okay. The one disadvantage is that they are hookless, so you only can ride on tubeless tires. Of course, you can ride with tubes, but the recommended way is to ride on tubeless tires without tubes, where you are using sealant to make it work. But in reality, you cannot pick any tubeless tires that you would like from the market, because with hookless rims you have just a kind of recommended list on Giant page, where there are currently, as far as I remember, 20 brands, where just 5 of them comes from independent manufacturers like Maxxis or Schwalbe. So it's a kind of problem. Some manufacturers like Continental are ignoring this new standard, because there is organization called ETRTO, which stands for the standard for hookless rims in road bikes, and they give manufacturers detailed information how to manufacture in case of diameter in size the tire to make it work with hookless rims. But some of manufacturers are ignoring the standard, and it's your own responsibility to try with tubeless tires from different manufacturers with those rims, but they cannot give you guarantee if you go up with pressure too high, like over 7 or 8 bars, you might run into troubles. So yeah, that's a kind of disadvantage of this bike. Okay, saddle. This is very nice saddle. I was thinking about replacing it with my Carbonio Superflow saddle, but as you can see, this one is compatible with integrated rear light, so I think I will stay with this one. This is short nose saddle, kind of standard currently in race bikes, very similar to special. Alright, I think that's all what I wanted to say about this bike. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments. Thank you. Bye.